I would like to thank all the companies, of course, that gracefully donated their chocolate to this event, specifically Chocolaterie de la Opera, which we have closed with a statement, and of course, Chocolat Valrhona. I will have to disagree with Mr. Olivier. I think Burgundy has superior taste to Bordeaux, but for the rest, we can agree on everything. I would like to hand down now, as our last speaker of this Chocolate Conservatory 2019, to our partners of the Cordon Bleu, who have been an extraordinary and very elegant partnership to also top this tasting. In this case, I would like to welcome a mentor, Chef Fabrice Danniel from the Cordon Bleu, who will introduce a little bit about the Institute and, of course, this chocolate that has been prepared with Valrhona. Chef, this is yours.
Merci. Merci pour cette belle présentation sur l'histoire du chocolat. Je peux parler en français? Super. Donc le chocolat qu'on a préparé à l'Institut avec mes deux assistantes qui sont là aujourd'hui, c'est bien sûr un chocolat de la maison Valrhona avec un pourcentage de 64% et qui vient de la République dominicaine. Donc moi, quand j'ai goûté, j'ai reçu un échantillon de la maison Valrhona et moi, j'ai trouvé très noir et très puissant. Et j'ai trouvé que le mariage avec un petit peu plus... J'ai voulu marier l'amertume et l'acidité. Donc, vous avez vu, c'était le dernier petit palais que vous aviez dans la petite plaquette. Donc, c'était rond. Et à l'intérieur, j'ai mis une petite ganache au citron vert. Donc, j'ai voulu mettre un petit peu un contraste entre amer et acide. Voilà la complémentarité de cette touche finale. Et là, on a fait une dégustation de tout ce qui est chocolat à 100%. Et là, vous avez vraiment le bonbon, comme on dit, le bonbon au chocolat. Ça veut dire qu'on est parti, on a repris du chocolat brut, qu'on a dû tempérer, faire une courbe de température pour pouvoir le mouler dans des moules en polycarbonate. Et après les avoir égouttés, bien sûr, on met une petite fine couche d'intérieur. Et là, bien sûr, c'était une ganache au citron vert. Et après, on les referme. Et voilà, c'est comme ça qu'on appelle des bonbons au chocolat moulé. Voilà, merci beaucoup.
Chef, s'il vous plaît. I would like to welcome, in these last minutes, any questions for Madame Ikezi or Chef Danniel. If anybody, please, if anybody has a question, just say so. Yes, Madame.
Just a quick one. What's the origin of the heritage beans?
Vietnam.
Yeah.
Vietnam.
Vietnam.
Do you know which?
Bentry.
Bentry.
Hi, thank you for your presentation. I have a question. It's usually understood that the first company to make chocolate bars, the tablet, is Fry in London. So according to your presentation, it's not the case. They did it in France before?
No, I didn't say that.
Okay.
No, I didn't say that. No, I didn't say that. It's actually a very, very interesting discussion because I tried to analyze exactly what Joseph Fry did, because people don't really talk about that. People just simply say, well, Joseph Fry. So exactly what did he do? You know, I think he did two things. From what I read, is that instead of making chocolate by grinding cacao and adding sugar, what he did was he used cacao powder and cacao butter and he mixed them. So what does that do? I mean, it's just a guess, you know, because I can't know exactly what he did. But when you go through that process, you get rid of humidity, right? So you have a chocolate that is much more easier to work with. So I think that's the contribution of Fry. I know that he also used a powerful machine to grind. So that was another step that he contributed. And I say that it's an interesting discussion because I believe you're talking about 1848, I think. And then you have in 1832 a company called Leitang. Leitang was the manufacturer of metal molds, and you see the catalogs. If you go to eBay or something like that, you find molds, right? And it's Leitang who were the first to start manufacturing. So, I mean, how do you define chocolate bar? I mean, the moment you have a metal mold, and it doesn't matter if it's in the shape of fish or just a box, you put it in and you make, it's a question of making in a series, right? You put it in, you have a molded chocolate. So if that's called the chocolate bar, then yes, it was a French. If you wanted to, give it another definition, right? So, I mean, I'm not here to say who made it first. It's just, I think it's interesting to go a little bit further to analyze exactly what each person did and what the chocolate at that time was like.
Thank you both for the tasting and information. I spend a lot of time in this industry thinking about women in chocolate, and I'm curious, Iri, for your research in this book, if you came across any instances of important women.
So I think that I've worked a little bit in chocolaterie. It's a very, very hard work physically, and so I think that deters a lot. Also in the kitchen, you find, there are more, but it's really physically difficult. It's really heavy chocolate, and I think so. That's what's one of the reasons. There's no reason why women can't make chocolate. I've come across an extraordinary chocolate maker who's making bonbons de chocolat in Bordeaux. Very fresh, very, very, very good. So. But we don't find, I mean, for instance, Christiane Ferber, right, in Alsace, she makes chocolate, but she's known more for the confiture and not for chocolate. So I don't know if that really answers the question.
I just want to say the evidence, I think, in the conservatory, we did not find her, but certainly she has found many. I think Hasna Ferreira is one of the many examples. And I have to say, I did attended culinary school, and as a man, I couldn't lift a bucket of 20 kilos. So I think it's physically demanding, but it particularly requires a particular trait of personality. So I will say it is hard work, but it is not gender specific. Any other questions before we close? I think we're good. Thank you so much, Chef. Merci beaucoup, Chef. Thank you, Eri, for this panel. And I will just like to thank this presentation. And I will give the microphone to Carla.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for your attention over the past 2 days. We've covered an enormous amount of ground together, beginning with discussions about chocolate production at origin, moving to discussions of social and environmental responsibility, thinking about transparency, thinking about monastic production, into today, where we covered several new topics. And as with anything, we try to cover them in as much depth as time and capacity of crowd will allow. One thing that we see routinely is that everyone arrives to an event with an expectation, with a personal agenda. There may be particular information that they seek that others don't seek. Our goal is to provide as much information as we can, given the constraints of resources, of time, of expertise in any given room. And we hope that we've been able to provide all of you with new information or information that refreshes what you have learned, and hopefully information that also challenges us to imagine a new future together. Beyond this, we are thinking about the future of cacao and chocolate and the future of an event like the Chocolate Conservatory. And I have a few questions for all of you. We would love your feedback on different possibilities. For one, we addressed at the beginning of this event the difficulties of course, running an event like this carries with it a cost. That is what a registration fee covers. But there are many ways that we might reduce that cost. For example, if we didn't meet in person and instead we met online. And so I'm curious, were we to hold similar conversations like this, either via webinar or via some kind of Skype call or something along those lines, would that be of interest to you? I see some yeses, I see some strong no's. How, can you show me hands? How
Yes.
many say yes, we like this idea? Yes, as an additional. We're not saying cancel all in-person events. We're saying add to this event. Ah, okay. An important qualification. Thank you. Yes. So I think there are certain things that are irreplaceable about meeting in person. However, there are very real constraints that we face. One is, of course, all cacao producers attend this event cost-free. What that means is that everyone who is here has donated their time to be part of the event, and labor shouldn't necessarily be free. We've argued that in relation to cacao production. I would like to think of that in relation to event production as well. And beyond that, we do have constraints where people are prevented by visa politics, by the cost of travel. Given the urgency of climate change, I think there are big questions about how much we're jetting around the world to events like these. We also find that there is a real outcropping of events. There are more and more of them, and at a certain point, events are competing with one another for attendees. So as we think about the future of an event like this, we're trying to be as thoughtful as possible about accommodating all of these different constraints. Now, beyond that, we have also considered the possibility, and it's been a dream really since we began the Chocolate Conservatory, to host it in a cacao-producing country. The difference would be, so the first one we held at Harvard University, that was essentially easy. It was where I teach. It was possible. We knew the logistics. There were very few constraints for us there. But we did run into similar challenges with fully including people who grow cacao. We were then fortunately and very grateful to be invited by European Business School, which allowed us to bring the event to Europe. But I'm curious, were we to host the event in a cacao producing region, could you show me your hand if you would also be interested to attend there? Ah, fantastic. Okay.
Is it hot?
Yes, it will be hot, José. By design. In case anyone is wondering, José visits cacao farms in the same clothing. He just goes like this. So hopefully somewhere maybe with an air-conditioned room for you, José. Yes. So we'll continue to think about that. And we invite your feedback and your suggestions. We try to be available as much as we can by email, in person. We really do seek your guidance in moving all of this forward. In terms of what you can expect from us following the event, we will share with you the commentary that you made online today during the workshop period. We also will make the videos available online. They will, as we described, only be available in the spoken language to begin, but we do work with a number of wonderful groups. One is United by Chocolate, Unidos por Chocolate, run by Esther Bobbin, that has just begun, that will be providing translation via subtitles and dubbing into Spanish. And so we hope as much as possible moving forward that these presentations will be available in multiple languages. We will also be sharing with you the actual PowerPoint slides for anyone who presented them, so you will have access to those. So that's what you can expect following the event. But what we really hope will be born of this event is more interaction among you all. And I've already seen many people meeting new colleagues, building new relationships. We take no ownership of any of that and hope that you will run with it and explore and find incredible new paths forward together. If you do, let us know. We would be happy to share it with the group, to promote it widely. All of that is exactly what we dream will come out of an event like this. And more than anything, we've had a lot of people on this stage explain what it is that they need to succeed. Things like growing consumer interest or learning in South-South collaboration between different origins of cacao production. We've had a lot of suggested solutions to problems, and I hope that as we've all taken notes and thought about these, that we can use that entrepreneurial spirit that's so attractive about the specialty industry and apply it to exactly those types of solutions that have been proposed here. All right. Is there anything else that I'm supposed to say, José?
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, thanks. Thank you all so much for being here. We're very grateful to you. And just a quick, I do very much want to acknowledge the translation team that has been so gracious in providing us with full, clear communication during this time. I want to acknowledge our incredible hosts here at European Business School who have very generously welcomed all of us. Yes, thank you so much, Marie-Catherine Paquier and colleagues. Thank you to all of our speakers. Our speakers also donate their time, their own organizations fund their participation being here. Thank you for sharing your expertise with all of us. We're very grateful. And thank you to all of you. We know what a commitment it is to come in such a busy time of year, especially leading into such a large event like the Salon de Chocolat. And the fact that you've shared this much time with us, we honor it. We're extremely grateful. It's in many ways an imaginary life to be able to do something like this with all of you. So thank you, and we hope to continue these conversations in the future. All the best.
I will like if I could take the microphone a second. It's often that we do not thank one person in particular, which is the organizer. So I think I speak for most of us, and I hope for all of us, when I say that if I can be a little cheesy just because I'm Latin American for a second, there's a concept in theological studies called kenosis. And kenosis is the emptiness of oneself to be filled by the Spirit of God. It's very similar to champaignosis, which is being emptied of oneself to be filled with bubbles of champagne. I really like to imagine every day, and this is something especially in frustrating times, when we think about what will happen if today cocoa disappeared, if chocolate disappeared from the face of earth. That concept, I think it will panic most of us. It will concern definitely all of us. But one of the things that I wonder when that happens is to look around us and look with the people who we work, despite of the topic that we are professionally involved with. And what I am personally left, and I think this industry is globally left, is with me personally, a mentor, a friend, a sister, someone that I can definitely call for professional and for personal purposes. And I think that what the Carla Martin that you see today in front of you is also the Carla Martin that it is in private, which is a proof of what I think is most important to her beyond cacao, beyond chocolate, which is the human integrity. We lived today, as we saw, there was a part that we talked about lying in our industry. There's something that Carla Martin won't do, that it's lied, but also she will respect the human dignity regardless. So Carla, thank you so much for bringing this together.
And thank you all. Yes. José is full of trouble, but he's also an excellent partner in crime. And I'm so grateful to work with him. Thank you for your jokes. Thank you for your support. And thank you to all of you for being here.